Greetings, viewers. Assalamu alaikum, shalom. And today we're going to talk on, originally our talk was supposed to be on the end of the Gaza war, which we are going to do. And we're going to say what is next after that. But apparently another phase and another item when we talked about was the intelligence war with RAW and Mossad. And we talked about that particular aspect. Now I got to report to you that the intelligence war is now expanded to a full-scale hybrid fifth-generation war. And we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about what's the urgency at this time. Let's go back a little bit, go a little background, then we'll get down to it. The foreign minister of Afghanistan is in India. And he is having a meeting at the Deobandi headquarters. He termed his visit very positive. Not only the scholars and students of Darul Uloom Deoband, but also people from surrounding areas have come to welcome us. I thank them for their hospitality, said Mr. Afghan Foreign Minister Muttaqi. The future of India and Afghanistan relations are very bright. Now let me put it in more perspective. Meanwhile, Maulana Arshad Mandani, head of the Jamaat Ulama Hind, stated that India maintains academic and educational ties with Afghanistan, adding our connection with Afghanistan, academic and educational. Now let me give you back. Deobandi is a sect in Islam, Hanafi in background, and their headquarters is 30 kilometers outside Delhi. And I'm sure Indian intelligence people keep a very good eye on him. Now, let me give you a background of Jamaat Ulama Hind, who welcomed Mr. Muttaqi. Before partition, Jamaat Ulama Hind, the head of that, who was then Jami Masjid Delhi's Imam, they all rendered a fatwa. And the fatwa went like this. Anybody who votes for Pakistan is performing Gunai Kabira. This is not Pakistan, this is Politostan. And they call Qaid Azam Kafir Azam. Now, obviously, Mr. Maulana Arshad Mandani, head of the Jamaat Ulama Hind, he's not going to have sweet, flowery words for Pakistan. And obviously, Afghan Muttaqi has a foreign minister is not going there because he loves Pakistan, but I think they are finding some synergies with India and especially old enemies of Pakistan. And let me remind you, on the viewers, the only country in UN who voted against Pakistan, the inclusion in the United Nations, was Afghanistan. Now, with this background, last night, Taliban government launched an attack all the way from the north of Afghanistan into the, and I'll bring up the map here so that you can watch that. And this map is interesting. What you can see, Pakistan along the length and Afghanistan. What you should remember, all the way from the top near Chitral, all the way down to Quetta near Spin Boldak, they attacked at about multiple fronts. Pakistani army suffered casualties. They did. But then the Pakistani forces retaliated. And meantime, something else to remember. This is when Pakistan was attacked. However, just for your information, the defense pact with Saudi Arabia said, unko tafshish hai, they are worried. They didn't say we stand with Pakistan, they said they're worried. Qatar, the other one, very close to Pakistan, was also worried. So I think one thing we should remember, in this hybrid war, full-scale hybrid fifth-generation war, we are fighting by ourselves. And I think at all we have friends, there's only one. And that is going to be China, our iron brother, and to some extent Turkey. So then Pakistan retaliated very heavily. Summing it up, what I'm going to say is this. Pakistan security forces killed more than 200 Taliban. Obviously, the wounded would be probably much, much higher than that. And this includes both the Afghan as well as Taliban, as well as the TTP guys. Pakistan all admitted that they lost 23 Jawans and 29 wounded. So that's our count. However, what they said after that, Pakistani said, quite an interesting, exactly what their operation was. Multiple training camps and support bases were destroyed. 21 hostile positions on Afghan side were briefly captured before Pakistani troops withdrew. So at no time did Pakistanis have the intent to maintain and control the other side of the border. Out of these 21, what Pakistanis are saying, or ISPR, 19 posts facilitated terrorist groups, and these were successfully targeted. Pakistani, in addition, they gave more details of those one. They said the Taliban's Asmat Karar camp, Karar camp, एक नंबर था ऊपर से आ रहे हैं करार camp located in Spin Boldak, etc. Afghanistan was destroyed, and the ones who were occupying it were killed, and they ran away, leaving behind their ammunition. And we raised our flag on it, the Pakistani flag. The other one was a Taliban Manhoja camp, battalion headquarters. The Khofnak area. Once a TTP, BLA, sorry, they would come in. It was occupied, destroyed, and the people who were in there were killed. The rest of them ran away. A lot of arms and ammunition captured. Then also the same fell with the Jandusar post in Turkmenizai camp, and also the Karchar fort also was heavily targeted. So in this, basically, Pakistani forces really clobbered the hell out of the Taliban. Now, if they learn a lesson from this, it'll be good. If they don't learn a lesson from this, then I will say the following. One statement, which the DG ISPR and the ISPR gave, and that is, I will read it out. Pakistan will not rest until the menace of terrorism emanating from Afghanistan is completely eliminated. Now, that completely eliminated may also mean completely eliminated. Now, Taliban government is not really in tune with their Tajik, Northern, Uzbek, and the rest of them. They've also alienated the whole population of women also. So these guys, I mean, they cut out the internet, so education also went to hell after that. So these guys are not really okay. They're sitting with Deoband, with that Mandani guy, Maulana Madani, Jamaat Ulama Hind. So really unsavory characters are getting together. We need to get our act together. Now let me talk a little bit about the hybrid war. Hybrid war means the other opposing forces will come inside your house and create unrest. They will get into your telephones, hack them with different kinds of software. That's why I said, please turn off your cell phones once a day. It eliminates those kinds of 99% of those things. If you get a bigger problem, we will have technical details to share with you. They will also try and get you, oh, you work for us, you're unemployed. Give us a pictures of the Serena or something. Do not do that. At no time take pictures or share with anybody those pictures which you do not know or you're sure about their loyalties. It will also include groups who will be demonstrating for no rhyme or reason, creating a law and order situation. And I think I'm not going to get into that. I think you're probably well aware of what's going on there. Thirdly, also turn off your phone, your computers once a day. Now, I can't tell you how important it is. Those guys who did not, I'd like to remind you, all those pages which exploded with Hezbollah in Lebanon, all those intelligence leaks that resulted in the killing of Hassan al-Nasrallah and his top aides, the same killing which occurred with the president of Iran, Hosni Mubarak, the same leakage occurred through these same things. So I would say, please, for this country and for yourself and for your family, kindly turn off and on your cell phone once a day. And also do the same restart with your computers. I'm doing it myself every day. And I have my wife do it also every day. Now let's get into the next step. Now there is a signing of the Gaza peace agreement. It's occurring in Sharm el-Sheikh, and the president of the United States is going there. Now, one thing I've shown, people in Gaza have suffered a lot. If there is peace, those people are starving. There are cases of people dying of famine. This allows 400 trucks have gone in. So I think we should say, Alhamdulillah, let them suffer no more. And those trucks have gone in, and Monday they will release the Israeli hostages, and over 2,000 Palestinians will be released. But the signing ceremony is in Sharm el-Sheikh, and this will be co-chaired with the Egyptian President Sisi and Donald Trump. Now, here's something very interesting for you to know. Trump invited, has organized an event. Trump has organized the event. I repeat, President Trump has organized this event. And his invitation has been extended to leaders or foreign ministers from Germany, France, UK, Italy, Qatar, UAE, Jordan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Indonesia. Yes. And our Prime Minister is going. Good. By the way, there's no India included in this one. Now, somebody may take pity in the State Department and invite Modi. That's another case. But from a Trump's invitation list, they were not on it. In this, Iran was invited, but they decided not to come. Okay. Now let's get back to the other one part which we want to talk about. And that is, what is going to come next after Gaza? Okay. Now, after Gaza, let me put it in perspective what the end of the fight at Gaza means. Now, US is 16% of the global manufacturing capacity. They have the capacity of either supporting a war of Israel against Gaza or Iran, but not both. They also cannot simultaneously support a war in Ukraine as well as against Iran. Well, let's talk about Ukraine. America has come to this arrangement that any arms or money to be given to Ukraine has to come out of European funds. So the thing goes like this. Ukraine says, I need 2 bullets. I'm sure they're going to have 2 billion bullets. Europe goes, America, please send us 2 bullets. America says, okay, you send me this money and we will send you the bullets when our production comes up. So if they're going to ask for some interceptor missiles, Trump will give them after he has taken care of their primary war. So they may have to work for 6 months out there. But in the meantime, the Russians are clobbering the Ukrainians pretty good. And one thing which we will study at the end of this month or middle of November, and that is if the Ukrainian army is close to collapse. So that takes care of that issue. Why did Trump do that? Because he wanted to free himself up to support Israel vis-a-vis Iran. Now, why vis-a-vis Iran? What have they done wrong with them? I mean, did they lose an election against Trump? No. The very simple reason. Iran now has 450 kilograms of enriched uranium up to 60%. So what? 60% enriched uranium translates into 6 to 8 nuclear bombs. Okay. Also, in addition, Iranians are saying now we have an intercontinental ballistic missile and we can hit New York or Washington, D.C. I mean, these guys don't end. Then they also said, first they said we don't know where the 400 kilograms of enriched uranium is. And then immediately Mossad said, we know where it is. Then they said it's not 400, it's 450. MashaAllah. So it's 450. The two things which these Iranians are currently under sanctions. Nobody can sell anything to them relating to any defense item. So they're going to be very desperate people. One of the areas where Israelis and the rest of them are focusing on, that where they made solid fuel for their rockets, they are trying to rebuild that. And they've gotten big mixers. They call planetary mixers. That's how you mix the solid fuel. And they're trying to get that one going. And I don't think that's something which Israel will allow them to do. Why? Again, Iran has two types of missiles they can launch. One is liquid hydrogen, and the other one is solid. Whenever Israeli planes take off, solid ones can be fired in a minute, like Pakistan has it. However, liquid hydrogen one, because of it takes hours to refuel them. And because of that, there's a lack, it's so cold out there with the leakages that you can see it on a satellite, there's absolute absence of infrared. The same is true for India. That ugly big thing, same thing. It takes 4 to 6 hours to refuel it. And if the Chinese share us where they are at, Fatah 1, 2, or 3, or 4 are going to have a field day with those ones. Now, Israelis will not allow them to do all these missiles, neither will the West. They want a treaty where Iran has no missiles. They want a treaty where Iran has no enriched uranium to make any bombs. And they will not wait. Because if they wait, they want to have a North Korea multiplied by 5. And this time, these guys are the type who will actually use it too. They don't have any logic. Kim Jong-un has some logic. He wants to survive as a person. These guys are driven by other items. And God knows exactly what goes through their head. So they will not allow that. So what I'm saying is this. The Israelis and the Iranians, supported by Europeans, are going to come for Iran. And that means they're going to bomb them completely, A to Z, anything which they can use for fighting purposes, missiles or other ones. Now, this is not going to be like a 12-day war. Israel will have enough interceptors to take down 1,500 more missiles. They only ran out of it about 20,000 last time. So this time they will have a lot more to do that. They will last through it. And this will last at least, I think, 6 weeks to 3 months. At the end of which, I think anybody wearing a uniform who runs across the field they'll take pot shots at him. One thing in this one is very dangerous. Iranians have said they're going to shut down the Gulf of Hormuz. Now, let me go back. What is Gulf of Hormuz? Well, I'll bring it back to you. Gulf of Hormuz, I'll go here, is this place, a little bit short, near Bandar Abbas. It's a 30-kilometer wide on the one. Through here goes 30% of the global oil. 100% of oil in Pakistan. A lot of goes to India. A lot of it goes to China. And what happens? Now, in this case, if you look at here, which country can, if the Iranians shut this one down by missiles, which country has ground forces to actually open it up? I'll leave it to your imagination, but I'll say this. Afghanistan is not it. Iraq can't do it. Kuwait can't do it. Saudi Arabia couldn't even handle Yemen, Houthis. They're not going to do that. UAE, Oman, no way. So please look at what you think the only country which can handle it. Now, currently, we are being engaged by, Pakistan is being engaged by Afghanistan. So what does it mean if it's this close? Well, let me explain it to you. What that means is this. When you wake up in the morning, your poor guy, Chokidar, says, I don't have propane, I can't cook. And the poor guy who's down the street only makes about few $100, भट्टे पे जाके भी बनाता है, वो घर में आके खाना पकाता है, तो वो propane का सिलेंडर ही होता है. If that is not coming, you don't have anything. We'll use natural gas. I'm sorry, most of your natural gas is already spoken for. You're getting LNG, which comes in and they regasify it to supply to you. So that's going to be gone. In addition, you is going to go down to the petrol station, hey, fill it up. They say, sorry, sir, no gas, no petrol, no diesel. Wow. You'll go right next to the Al-Fatah grocery store, something else. Taza sabzi do. Says, no sabzi, sir, no trucks are moving. In short, you don't need a paya jam strike here. The payas are jammed because there's no petrol all over the country. So would you think at that time our government will do something about it? I again leave it to your imagination, guys. This is the only country which can intervene here. Will the Saudis push for it? Yes. Will the Americans push for it? Yes. Will the Chinese push for it? Yes. Will the Indians keep quiet? Yes. Now, that's something to remember. Now, one of the things we must remember in all this stuff, that Pakistan has one mortal enemy, and we better keep an eye on them. They will come for Pakistan. India will open up an attack on us. It's not going to be this year. I think it's when they receive their few hundred BrahMos missile, March, April next year, then they will start thinking that way. Plus, they will also would need your PL-15 go how to jam that. I think jamming the PL-15 on the final course is very difficult. It's purely infrared. Nobody's been able to do that except by flares, and not very successfully. But mid-flight, how to jam it so that they can't be taken to their target. But in addition to that, Chinese are coming up with the PL-17, the 400-kilometer one. And then they're coming up with the PL-XX, which is the 800-kilometer one. And if the KJ-500 or KJ-3000 come along, then I think it's pretty much goodbye. So those are generally my current feelings, and a lot of people have questions. So we should prepare, and I will say this at the end. We are in a hybrid war. We are in an intelligence war. I think we should be very careful. We should stay united. We should fight electronic warfare by turning on and off once a day our cell phones, our computers. In addition, do not share pictures of vital areas with anybody in this one. And with that, I will say Sher Bano could not make it because of some protest. She was in Lahore. And we wish her best that she can make it for our next podcast. And she could not find her way into Islamabad. So hopefully next time we will be able to come back again. And hopefully we'll do it in another 2 days. Thank you very much. Good night. And please enjoy yourself.